Americans, what do Eurpoeans have every day that you see as a luxury? Cities designed for walking, and public transit designed to make travel between major cities/countries without a car incredibly seamless. I don't really drive much, and hate having to get around by car especially while traveling. Being able to walk/bike to most important destinations is great. Being able to travel by train to another city or country without spending the entire ride thinking I should have just rented a car and driven or dealt with the huge delays of airport security instead is even better. I spent a month in Switzerland for work a few years ago, and it's more than that though. The roads are designed to make biking as seamless and unobtrusive as possible in a way that would never even really be explored here. I'd never consider biking in the city while I was in Boston, because I don't want to be in the middle of traffic weaving between cars and pedestrians, and I think most people feel the same, and that's why bike lanes are fairly underutilized, but it was very different over there in a way that is hard to express unless you have experienced walking around/biking around an American suburb, even a city, vs a European one. Lots of people I've talked to put it up to people just bike more in Europe, but no, they don't understand. People bike and walk more in Europe because their cities are just built differently in ways that are hard to express. This is only really true for Southern Europe. But cheap wine by the glass, cheap coffee, and pastries. Cafes in the US are marketed as very trendy, and if you want a pastry and a coffee you should be ready to pay like $8 to $10. In most of Italy, Portugal, and Spain you can get coffee and a croissant for like €3. Yep. Where I live in Spain, the standard price for a glass of wine in a cafe or everyday, non-fancy, equivalent of a diner, restaurant is €80-1. In a restaurant I'll usually order a half-liter for about €4, that's 2/3 bottle of wine. Soda or water are more expensive. A soda is usually €1.20-1.60. And yeah, a coffee and a croissant for €3 is about right here. I live in Czech Republic and we can get it for about €2 also. Cheap for you, we have a different salary. A croissant for €3 isn't cheap. Spain's food and drink culture was so cheap and such higher quality at baseline. Super jealous of that. 2+ weeks long vacations. I've had to reach to our contact at HQ in Europe for support and have legit been told to ask someone else because he was going to Switzerland skiing for 3 weeks on holiday. But here I am getting nervous about taking more than 3 days off in a row because I don't want to come back to 500+ emails. I get 48 days of paid vacation per year. I also get extra pay on vacation that is 50% of my monthly salary. So my salary on vacation is monthly salary plus 50% of that salary. Most times when summer comes and vacation season starts, I have some overtime in, so I take 4 weeks of vacation at summer and use rest on winter. In all I think I stay on paid vacation for 60 to 70 days per year if you count all the holidays that are also paid free time. I also get paid leave from overtime. If I work on Saturday it's 2 hours per 1 hour's work done, and Sunday it's 3 hours per 1 hour done. If I have to go to work on my booked vacation/paid leave, I get full day off added to that vacation even I only have to work for 1 hour. I see coming back to 500+ emails as an extension of my vacation. The entire day I get back will be spent sorting emails into fucks and no fucks. 95% fall into the latter category. Afterwards and leading into the following day, I sort through the fucks to find out what I actually have to do. Even then I usually use the excuse of I was out and didn't see that email, and whatever needed to be done usually sorts itself out. I swear I am top quality VP material. Someone hire me with a $500,000 salary and I promise you will find no better candidate to justify their job on the backs of their team. I'm fun at parties and will instigate shots. My personal goals in life include personally finding out that Napa Valley is filled with shallow people I despise. To take a trip to overseas in business class for no apparent reason other than to schmooze. Have a team building paintball match in which I dominate. Take credit for company success through no direct effort of my own. Here basically everything is closed for 3 weeks during August and 2 weeks during Christmas/Nye, I'm talking about offices and such. We just don't give a shit. If customers want us, they will have to wait like everyone else. I am an American who is now living in Sweden and a Swedish citizen, and I will never not be amazed that I have a legal right to 4 continuous weeks of paid vacation during the summer. The legal right. Literally amazing. The city I live in has 100,000 people and covers 72 square mi. 186 square kilometer. Copenhagen has 1,360,000 people and covers 70 square mi. 183 square kilometer. When I visited there a few years ago, I was blown away by what you've talked about. So many people were biking or walking, and, while there were a ton of people, it didn't feel cramped. Then I came home and my eyes were opened to just how sprawling and car-dependent my city is. Sure, I can drive from one part of the city to another within about 15 minutes, but I have to drive to go anywhere. An American friend of ours was gobsmacked that I have a well-paid, head of department level job, don't work unpaid overtime and get 33 days paid holiday a year, with 8 days public holiday on top. Cities designed for walking. It's less that they're designed for walking, they just are that way because often the city is hundreds of years old, so we're just built that way. You get the occasional place, like Milton Keynes in the UK, which were designed, and they have pretty much the same issues as American cities in that they are very car-centric. I live in the UK and it's almost the same here. The roads are not utilized for cycling either. They've tried their best to make cycle paths for bikes, but much of the road is still for cars. I would never try to bike to where I work, it just feels very unsafe. I recommend everyone here to watch the YouTube channel Not Just Bikes. It's a great channel. It talks about the problems with US and Canada city design, and how good it is in Europe, mainly Netherlands. Time. I spent time abroad in Italy for school and there was just so much less of a rush everywhere. Oftentimes the latest person to my classes we were professors. Everyone really took their time and I didn't really feel the bustle of constantly going somewhere when I was there. I mean, dang, the village my apartment was located shut down for a few hours in the afternoon so the shopkeepers could go have lunch. It was wild. Mediterranean Europe is very different from other parts. I've gone to Spain most years of my life, lived there for 3 and a bit months last year, and it's as you describe. But I'm also born and raised in London, worked in central London with a train/commute, everyone is very much in a rush. I'd imagine it's similar in some places in Northern Europe too. That's a Mediterranean thing. Northern Europe is a lot more rushed, and especially in Germany and the Netherlands punctuality is very important. One American I knew was shocked by the lack of to-go cups in our country. Back where she lived everyone was carrying one, but in Europe it was a lot less prevalent. Turns out it's because we actually have time to drink our drinks in one place and are not constantly rushing.